Today, we will go to another defensive player, this time Oklahoma linebacker Eric Stryker, 22 days away from the NFL draft. Eric, we appreciate your time. How are you?
I'm all right. 22 days away, and I ain't never been injured ever in my life, and I'm very happy and proud of that. Made it through college with no injuries. It's a good feeling, and I wouldn't change it for nothing in the world because your dream is about to come true.
Yeah, and I got to imagine, as we're getting closer, now you were in Mobile for the Senior Bowl a couple of months ago. How has things been since that time to then, knowing that your life's about to change, most likely?
Well, I think, you take your time with it. You take it a day at a time. And, it's – I don't even know. It's kind of just like a waiting feeling, but you do get a little nervous, because it's like, like 22 days away now. Like I said, I was just in Mobile for the Senior Bowl. Now, like, it's about to be. So you just kind of – you're a little nervous. I guess that might have changed a little bit, but you just, wait patiently now at this point. So
now, you mentioned injury. I guess one of the things that people would be concerned about, you, Eric, and one of the reasons why you're a guy, we try to target different guys that I find to be really interesting. And you had an unbelievable career, a blitzing linebacker. You had big numbers, you huge, big time university. But everybody keeps talking 5'11", 230 pounds, shockingly small for your position. And I know that you got a lot to say about it.
Yeah, it's been that way my whole life. And I felt like my whole life I've always had to prove myself. Even in high school, people thought I was small. When I got to Oklahoma, people thought I would be too small and they thought I couldn't do it. But I think that, this whole thing about proving yourself, and this is literally I've never been when it comes to sports, especially football, I've earned every position that I've gotten in starting. And my high school coach can tell you that, Coach Coots can tell you that. I had to gain the trust of my teammates and the coaches in practice. And, and critics are going to talk. People do that. That's their job, whatever. I don't pay attention to that. I just know with my heart, that heart that I got, I can play with anybody. And I think I showed it in college. Very successful in college. As an Oklahoma linebacker, I had the most sacks for a linebacker. And we don't have to talk about the great linebackers that came through here. So I've done a lot of things on the field, and I think my numbers show, and it shows on the film. But I think just like anything, regardless if I go first or seventh, all rookies are going to have to prove themselves. Just period. It's just the way it is. Newcomers always have to prove themselves and trust their teammates. So I'm not worried about that. I've always done a good job of that, and I always prevailed and had that type of adversity. So I'm not worried about it. But it is what it is. I can't. It's genetics. I'm 5'11", 230 pounds. But at the combine, when I got measured, I said, man, you got to give me 6 feet. He said, no, I didn't give me enough money. So I should have gave him a couple extra dollars so he could give me that 6 foot, but it's all good.
Well, I'll tell you, and you mentioned you were productive, just to give the people an indication. Oklahoma, Big 12, one of the top conferences in the country, 22.5 sacks, 45 tackles for loss, 11 pass breakups, 25 tackles, 9 for loss, 4.5 sacks in his 3 career bowl games. So the numbers are there. Go ahead, Pete.
Hey, Eric, I'm looking at your write-up here, and it says that you grew up watching Tampa and a Buccaneers defense that you love to watch. So we're in the heart of Eagles country. Eagles fans remember that Tampa D. They remember the last game ever at Veterans Stadium. Yeah. What kind of Tampa guys do you compare to, or do you think your playing style compares to on those Tampa D?
Yeah, that was a big moment for the whole city, but for me in particular because Warren Sapp, John Lynch, Derek Brooks, Simeon, who am I missing? Tiki Barber. Good grief. We had, you watch that every Sunday. I mean, it was just one of the amazing things to watch. And I've been to like 5 Bucs games, growing up when I was little. It was just the most amazing thing. And just, watching them guys on defense was just the way they played. Football was right. The attitude, the violence that they had as defensive players really helped us win the Super Bowl. Go with Philly because everybody was like, "Oh, Tampa Bay's not going to go in Philly and win. They're scared of the cold. They're in Tampa, But we did it. We won. It was a big thing for the city. But watching them guys really inspired me. They were right here. They were right there in my hometown. Really inspired me, especially Warren Sapp, man. He was something else. He was a monster.
Well,
and John Lynch as well.
Well, and there's a lot of guys. There's a lot of guys, Eric. Sam Mills was 5'9", London Fletcher 5'10", Daton Wynn 5'11", that have played. They all had pretty good careers. But do you think, are teams talking to you about playing at the linebacker spot, or do you think some might look at you as a safety?
Yeah, I kind of been hearing both. But I think what it comes down to is I think the general position that I'm always in, right, like in college. Like I was kind of always around the box, sometimes outside the box, playing zone, blitzing a little bit. So whatever my title is, whether it's linebacker, safety, or whatever they want to call it, I think I will stay in the area that I've been successful at. So whatever they want to call it, because everybody calls it something different. But I kind of heard a whole bunch of stuff, but I think I will stay in my area where I'm most successful at. Pretty much is what I get when I think about talking with all the teams. I think I'll stay in the areas that I'm most successful at. So that's how I'm looking for it.
Eric Stryker with us here on the Sports Bash on 97.3 ESPN FM. So as you go through the process, boy, when people come to you, they say, well, what are you hearing? I mean, you get text messages from people. You have guys that come observe you. You went through the combine, the Senior Bowl, all those things. Tell me a little bit about, has there been a couple of, oh, wow moments for you already in this process? We're not even to the draft yet, but has there been a moment or a time where you thought, oh, we're here, okay?
Like you mean as far as like
an oh wow moment? Like I mean, is there a scout? Is there a coach? Maybe that you admired, looking up to that you're like, I can't believe he's looking at me.
Yeah, man. You do. Sometimes you think like, man, I done came so far, from where I'm from and been through my trials and to actually make it this far and to be as close as you are, with this decent coordinator, legendary, or I just sat and met with this head coach. Like, yeah, but you kind of got to keep yourself, because you're getting interviewed at the same time, so you just can't be like, oh wow, like starstruck. But that has happened.
And who was that? Like, who did you come out of an interview with and call your parents or your family and say, you'll never guess who I just talked to?
Yeah, who took me the most? It was I came out an interview with the Ravens, and it was actually a Ravens scout that was just, he was like, oh man, he was into it, and he was like telling me how he used to coach, and he's been in the game, but he was just like, man, he was like, I got them questions. I want to go bring up the questions, but I got some pretty funny questions. But he was just so passionate and intense about it. I was like, wow, man. I was like, wow, that's great. Like, because with those interviews, I don't really be getting too pumped like that. Like, he was getting like pumped. He was hyped, so that was kind of like a cool little thing.
You were ready to go hit somebody right away. Like, okay, I'll show me to the field. I'll hit him right now.
Eric Stryker is with us here, the linebacker from Oklahoma. He's an NFL draft prospect. A lot of people say maybe a mid-round selection there. And, one of the things that's interesting, a lot of people say that, you've kind of don't mind being like a villainous kind of character. That's kind of been the kind of role you've played on that. I've watched you a lot. I'm a West Virginia grad, so since we moved to the Big 12, we've been stuck with you guys the last couple of years. So I got a nice dose of you guys over there. So I always feel like when I watch Oklahoma that you were like the villain on the field.
Yeah, and I don't mind being a villain. That's all right, because I think the villain has to be able to take a lot of heat from people. You got to be able to compose yourself. A lot of people don't say a lot of things about you, but all that means is you're doing something good, right? And I don't mind it. And at the end of the day, all villains know who they are. I know who I am as a person and human being. So anybody want to draw a picture of me that that's just not accurate. I just blow it off. But I don't mind. I'm out there. I'm hyped. I may talk a little trash. If you talk a little trash to me, I may talk to the crowd a little bit. Crowd curse me out, call me everything but a child of God. That type of thing. Those type of things I have fun with, right? This is like I'm playing a game. I'm having fun. I got a sack maybe. I'm all over the field. But, man, those times where I talk to fans and me and the other team talk trash and get it to them, and them are the best moments. Them was some of the best moments, and talking to the crowd, they're like saying all this about you. And, and going into Tennessee especially, you get a taste of the SEC world going there. Man, now them fans are different than Big 12 fans. Now they kind of look up who your mother is, who your father is, and they talk about your mother. They say your mother's name, and they say some little mean stuff behind your mother's name. It's kind of funny, but it's cool that they do that. But it's all good. It's a part of the game. I love that stuff.
Well, we did our homework here, Eric, and we found out that you're a fan of House of Cards. So is Bob Stoops your Frank Underwood? Is he the Frank Underwood for Oklahoma's program?
Oh, no, look, man, Coach Bob is far from Frank Underwood. Listen, Frank is going to do whatever he has to do to get his style. That is far from Coach. Coach Stoops does it the right way. Frank doesn't do it the right way. And as much I love Francis Underwood, and I don't know as evil as he is, and as a horrible human being as he is, I still love him. I don't know why.
Can't stop watching.
Something about me, but I can't stop watching. I finished season 4, so.
Don't tell me what happened. I'm still catching up.
I finished it as well. I thought it was better than season 3. So.
Oh yeah, definitely season 3. Yeah, I didn't think season 3 was as good as 1 or 2 either. Season 4 was definitely, man. It's some crazy stuff.
See, here you are having these NFL interviews, and they're hard questions. We throw out Frank Underwood.
These are probably the kind of questions he's getting.
No problem. You're rolling right with it.
The senior poli-sci major at Oklahoma. We will keep our eyes on him for the NFL draft, which is, as we said, 22 days away. Eric, it was great to meet you and catch up with you, pal.
All right, thank you. I appreciate it. And just so you go, so I can give him a shout-out, I'm sitting here with Buddy Hield and Isaiah Cousins, and, we just chopping it up about our college career, just so I can give Buddy and Isaiah a shout-out. They're my boys, man. They've been my boys who came in together, and, we all made it to the Final Four, and we all proud of each other.
Don't tell them that we're in Villanova country up here. You might not want to relay that message to them, guys.
Oh man, yeah, I'll try to keep.
Well,
I'll try to keep Buddy. Oh, I think Buddy heard you. You heard him, Buddy? Yeah, Buddy heard. It's too late now. My buddy made not do an interview with Salt.
Well, I'm sure Buddy's over it now. Buddy's going to be going through the same process you're going through right now. Buddy would look good
in a Sixers uniform. You can tell him we said that.
Yeah, there's a lot of Sixers fans who were saying, Buddy, we want you here.
Yeah, but the thing is, see, y'all gonna actually call Buddy into the radio station. I'm on the phone. That's a different. Buddy. Y'all like that, huh? Buddy's gonna get the personal invite flight to ESPN. I'm just kind of on the station, but that's all good. We know how the game goes.
Well, hey, if you're drafted by the Eagles, Eric, you can come in studio.
Absolutely, all 4 hours.
All right, cool. If I come through Philly, I'll make sure I come through there. And tell your people to open the door. Tell the lady at the front desk to answer the door. I'm coming right in. I'm hot, unannounced and everything. Tell them I'm coming through.
Well, you guys enjoy your rest of your process, both you, Buddy, and Isaiah. You guys all had a great run, and we do appreciate you spending a couple minutes with us.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate that.